This is the Intercontinental Broadcasting Corporation. Sa bagong Pilipinas.
Good evening. This is 13 News.
Let's get into the headlines right now. The Office of the President releases a total of 278 million peso fund for the quake-hit areas in Mindanao as President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. makes a second visit to quake victims, this time in Sarangani.
The Philippine Navy bravely confronts a Chinese warship and a China Coast Guard vessel during a maritime patrol in the West Philippine Sea.
Resigned Ateneo Blue Eagles coach Tab Baldwin may face homicide or hazing charges if abuse is proven in team building activities, says the CIDG.
Several senators and congressmen expressed support to President Marcos Jr.'s call for a special session on June 17 to tackle important measures.
And in news abroad, the White House hosts a UFC fight for Donald Trump's 80th birthday. This as the U.S. and Iran reach a peace deal at last.
All these and more here on 13 News.
A Chinese Navy warship and a China Coast Guard vessel were spotted during a maritime cooperative activity involving Philippine forces in the West Philippine Sea.
The Philippine Navy responded swiftly, issuing radio challenges after the Chinese ships closed in on participating vessels.
IBC News correspondent Bea Peniza was on board the BRP Diego Silang, witnessing the developments firsthand and filed this report.
William Angela, the Philippine Navy vessel BRP Diego Silang, issued radio challenge to Chinese vessels, particularly the PLA Navy ship 555 and the Chinese Coast Guard vessel 5304, both spotted during the maritime cooperative activity here in the West Philippine Sea. In an interview with the media, Captain John Percy Alcos, commanding officer of the BRP Diego Silang, said the vessels were first detected shortly after noon today. According to Alcos, Chinese vessels were initially observed at a distance of 8.8 nautical miles before closing in to approximately 5 to 6 nautical miles from BRP Diego Silang.
We have detected and positively identified two vessels that are not part of the MCA. First is PLA Navy warship 555. The second one is the Chinese Coast Guard 5304.
Alcos emphasized that challenging the presence of the Chinese vessels is part of their mandate to uphold and assert the country's maritime rights and jurisdiction.
It's part of our mandate to ensure and assert our maritime rights and jurisdictions. These are the missions of the Philippine Navy and the Philippine Coast Guard to ensure that we have sovereignty. That is the mission of the Philippine Navy and the Philippine Coast Guard.
Meanwhile, both the Philippine Navy and the Philippine Coast Guard are closely monitoring the situation as they determine whether the Chinese vessel will continue shadowing the participating ships until the maritime cooperative concludes here in the West Philippine Sea. Likewise, the Philippine military and the Coast Guard assets remain actively engaged in the ongoing maritime cooperative activity as the operation continues. From the West Philippine Sea, Bea Peniza, IBC News.
Thank you, Bea Peniza, reporting live from the West Philippine Sea. In other news, President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. has called the Congress to convene a special session to discuss priority measures for the country. Following the president's announcement, some lawmakers are hoping the special session could resolve the Senate leadership standoff. The full report from IBC News correspondent Daniel Manalastas.
President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. has called for a special session of Congress to tackle key legislative measures. Under Proclamation Number 1318, the President wants both houses of Congress to convene on June 17, 2026 to act on priority bills that remain pending. Among the measures targeted for approval are the National Center for Geriatric Health Bill, amendments to the Government Assistance to Students and Teachers in Private Education Act, the Assistance to Individuals in Crisis Situations or AICS Act, among others. The President stressed that while Congress may be on break, the needs of the public do not pause, making the people's welfare a continuing national priority. The special session is also expected to allow the Commission on Appointments to act on pending appointments in the Cabinet, Military, and Foreign Service to ensure the continuity of government operations. Beyond legislation, will the special session could help resolve the leadership standoff between Acting Senate President Sherwin Gatchalian and Senator Alan Peter Cayetano? Senator Erwin Tulfo said he hopes Gatchalian will be formally elected as Senate President.
Para matapos ito na tumahimik na dahil ang pangako naman po ni Senator Cayetano, bababa siya pag may 13.
Senator Joel Villanueva, who belongs to the Cayetano bloc, has confirmed his attendance to the special session.
Hindi po pwedeng puro away na lang. Tutuparin po natin ang ating sagradong tungkulin sa ilalim ng ating saligang batas. We will be there.
Tulfo, however, clarified that Villanueva has yet to commit to supporting their bloc, though he said talks are continuing. For his part, Senate Majority Leader Juan Miguel Zubiri said there will be no drama, no delays, and no reason for senators not to report for work during the special session. Meanwhile, Senator Ping Lacson posted a message on his X account referencing a so-called delulu, a popular term used to describe someone who is delusional, though he did not identify any individual. Meanwhile, Tulfo also announced that the Senate Blue Ribbon Committee will not hold a hearing on June 16, contrary to some reports. As of tonight, the Cayetano bloc has yet to confirm whether its members will attend the special session. In the House of Representatives, Speaker Boji D. III welcomed the President's call for a special session, saying it provides an opportunity to complete legislative action on priority measures for Filipino families. Daniel Manalastas, IBC News.
The House Prosecution Panel has expanded its witness list to over 30 individuals as it submitted its pre-trial brief over the impeachment trial of Vice President Sara Duterte. The prosecution said the inclusion of additional witnesses from the initial 25 individuals is intended to ensure complete presentation during the trial. A pre-trial conference is set on June 18, where proposals include the use of Filipino and simultaneous translation in various dialects to make proceedings more accessible to the public. The prosecution added that the proceedings could conclude by September if the concerns in the Senate leadership will resolve before the trial date on July 6.
It's not a question of probative value or weight of the evidence. It is a question of inclusion of all the witnesses and evidence to make sure that we will be allowed to present them during the trial.
Earlier, House Secretary General Cheloy Garafil formally submitted the House prosecution's pre-trial brief to the impeachment court clerk and Senate Secretary Attorney Renato Bantug Jr. Also submitted were the entry of appearance of private prosecutors who will assist the House prosecution during the trial.
President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. returned to quake-hit Mindanao today for the second time in less than a week, overseeing relief operations in Glan, Sarangani. As of tonight, a total of 278 million pesos in socio-civic fund has been released to cities and municipalities affected by the quake, highlighting a whole-of-nation response in times of disaster. Ezra Abad has the full report.
President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. is back in Mindanao once again to oversee relief operations in communities devastated by the powerful 7.8 magnitude earthquake. This marks his second visit to quake-hit Mindanao in less than a week, as the government continues to mobilize agencies from the DSWD and DOH to the AFP, PNP, and Coast Guard to aid the families affected by the quake. Tonight, the Office of the President has released a total of 278 million pesos from the Social Civic Projects Fund. This is to help meet the urgent needs of the displaced families and speed up recovery, especially for damaged schools. Under the program, each local government unit or LGU will receive 50 million pesos. Some LGUs will receive 30 million pesos and others 20 million pesos, depending on the assessment of their cities and municipalities. The President personally visited the evacuation center in Glan, Sarangani to check families displaced by the disaster, underscoring his administration's commitment to relief and recovery. He also led the distribution of family food packs and hot meals prepared by the DSWD's mobile kitchen and oversaw the turnover of PCSO's 350 charitimba or relief buckets from the PCSO. He supervised the additional release of 5,000 pesos cash assistance under the IX program to 453 beneficiaries.
Ang commitment ng DSWD, emergency cash transfers immediately. The moment we get the listing from the LGU, agad-agad nating gagawin yun dahil yan ang utos at direktiba ng ating Pangulo.
Residents of Glan, Sarangani are grateful to the immediate response of the government to their community.
Kumbaga ba ma'am, kahit na nararamdaman namin na para bang yung iba wala nang mauluyan, na-feel din namin na meron pang nagkikare.
The President also inspected the damaged Sarangani Provincial Hospital in Alabel and to check on its patients as well. 2 patient transport vehicles were turned over to the health facility for better response.
Within 24 hours, we are very amazed na dumating kagad ang national. So ito pag-visit na to, this will now give us hope, na nakita talaga ni President yung building and alam namin at talaga meron talagang mandato na pabilisan.
The chief executive also inspected the repairs of the damaged Sapo-Masla Bridge and to ensure it reopens soon. He also inspected the technical vocational building in Malapatan National High School, where he donated Starlink units to support communication and internet connectivity in the school. Furthermore, the president granted 20 million pesos in Social Civic Project Fund assistance and delivered a Starlink satellite unit to restore vital communications in Glan. Shortly after the chief executives left Sarangani, another less powerful 6.6 magnitude earthquake hit waters of Davao Oriental. Meanwhile, General Santos Airport is up and running again, just a week after the earthquake. The landing strip is now open for commercial flights after President Marcos had ordered to fast-track repairs. As of today, the Office of Civil Defense reports that 161,000 families or 624,000 individuals across 432 barangays have been affected by the earthquake. Casualties stand at 65 dead, 36 missing, and thousands more injured. Estimated total worth of damage is at 1.13 billion pesos. Amid all these, Pope Leo XIV expressed solidarity for affected Filipinos and offered a prayer.
I show my closeness to the people of the Philippines struck in recent days by a powerful earthquake. I pray for those deceased and their families.
Ezra Abad, IBC News.
The Philippine Charity Sweepstakes Office, or PCSO, has provided more help to earthquake-hit communities in Mindanao. The PCSO, led by General Manager Mel Robles, handed over 2 patient transport vehicles to the Provincial Hospital of Sarangani. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. oversaw the turnover ceremony, ensuring stronger emergency response in the province. Around 13 PTVs were provided in Mindanao for faster and accessible medical response. Another batch of charitimba consisting of essential food items were also distributed to evacuees. Meanwhile, Land Bank also deployed a mobile branch and a ATM in the municipality. The initiative provided affected individuals with an alternative measure to make transactions and withdrawals while bank operations remain closed.
Partly cloudy to cloudy skies with isolated rain showers will continue to prevail over major parts of the country due to easterlies, affecting eastern Visayas, Dinagat Islands, Surigao del Norte, Surigao del Sur, and Davao Oriental. The rest of the country will also experience cloudy skies with rains due to localized thunderstorms. According to Pag-asa, expect frequent typhoons this month until September because of El Nino. The Weather Bureau explained that El Nino conditions are currently manifesting over the Pacific region and now has an 80% likelihood to develop within the June to August period. Due to the simultaneous occurrence of the southwest monsoon, the country could experience intensified rainfall events and even super typhoon categories, particularly on the western sections of Luzon and Visayas. Amid the threat of stronger weather conditions, Pag-asa launched its Hydrometeorological Observing Network or Panahon app for real-time weather forecasts. The mobile application can provide immediate tropical cyclone and flood advisories, as well as thunderstorm and heavy rainfall warnings. Coming up next, resigned coach Tab Baldwin may face hazing or homicide charges over the deaths of the two Ateneo athletes. Stay tuned. This is 13 News.
Pangarap mong maging milyonaryo? Sa PCSO Lotto, magkakatotoo! Mas pinasaya, mas pinabongga, mas pinalaki ang mga jackpot prizes. Araw-araw ang bola, kaya more chances of winning sa PCSO Lottery Draws. Lunes hanggang Linggo, tuwing 2 p.m., 5 p.m., and 9 p.m.
Shockwaves in collegiate basketball. Coach Tab Baldwin has stepped down as head coach of the Ateneo Blue Eagles. But the controversy doesn't end there. The CIDG says Baldwin may still face hazing or even homicide charges if abuse is proven during the team-building activity. Alaysa Insigne has the full report.
After Coach Tab Baldwin resigned as head coach of the Ateneo Blue Eagles basketball team today, the Criminal Investigation and Detection Group, or CIDG, said he may still face hazing or homicide charges when abuse is proven to have occurred during the team-building activity. One of the things CIDG will look into is Baldwin's connection to the owner of the resort, as the team-building activities have been held there for the past 4 years.
This investigation is now turned into a possible homicide investigation or hazing investigation. Number one, due diligence was not exercised. Like a good father of a family, you will not subject an individual po doon sa ganong katataas na way. Second, there were past incidents already na nangyari. That's the reason kung bakit we will be asking why in Aurora after 4 or activities na pinandak doon.
Authorities also learned that the vehicle used by Baldwin and other coaches to travel to Aurora is registered under a certain telecommunications company which funds the team.
Mr. Baldwin is on board a white Toyota Alphard with license plate AJA 3819. When we conduct a background check on the said vehicle, it is owned by Smart Communications.
Authorities found that Batebonia had not yet enrolled in the university.
We learned that Rene has yet to enroll kasi wala po pong enrollment. But this does not mean na walang pananagutan po ang school, if any, during the course of the investigation, because he was admitted sa Ateneo. He is living sa dormitory ng Ateneo when he arrived from Davao.
Tomorrow, the CIDG will invite former Ateneo players as resource persons. On Wednesday, the CIDG will also serve subpoenas to current members of the Ateneo Blue Eagles basketball team. Earlier, Baldwin remained no-show after the CIDG served subpoenas to Ateneo officials. Only one representative appeared, accompanied by a lawyer sent by the university, came to participate in the fact-finding conducted by the CIDG and DILG. According to DILG Secretary John Picrimulya, if those involved continue to ignore the summons, authorities will seek the issuance of contempt of court citations. The National Bureau of Investigation also said they will finish the investigation this week. Alaysa Insigne, IBC News.
The Philippine Health Insurance Corporation, or PhilHealth, is already reviewing its evaluation, assuring the family of a deceased member who allegedly failed to avail his benefits. According to PhilHealth, it will investigate its payment frameworks along potential inconsistencies in how hospitals interpret coverage rules, particularly for patients confined for less than 24 hours. The agency also said its existing policies already cover stroke cases and even short-stay admissions, adding that the family may still receive benefits through direct filing or reimbursement once documents are completed and verified. PhilHealth is now coordinating with health facilities and considering policy adjustments, including potential increases in case rates for complex neurosurgical procedures. Energy and food security in the country. These will highlight President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.'s agenda on his visit to Russia this week, according to the Department of Foreign Affairs. The president is due to attend the ASEAN-Russia Commemorative Summit and bilateral meeting with Russian President Vladimir Putin in Kazan, Russia from June 17. DFA Deputy Assistant Secretary for ASEAN Affairs Assistant Secretary Javier Imperial detailed that the president may seek Russian oil stockpile and further cooperation in trade and industry, tourism, and other areas. Also part of the agenda is strengthening protection for over 5,000 overseas Filipino workers in Moscow, as well as deepening Russia-Philippine relations.
The discussions will center on the commemoration of the 50th anniversary of the establishment of the diplomatic relations between the Philippines and Russia. The meeting will likewise provide an opportunity to explore ways to further strengthen cooperation in areas of mutual interest, particularly energy security and food security.
The Bureau of Internal Revenue, or BIR, has reached a high gross tax collection revenue in May, surpassing its target goal. Data shows the agency collected over 279 billion pesos, posting a 14.15% year-on-year increase, exceeding its May collection goal by over 78 million pesos. For January to May 2026, the agency collected over 1.4 trillion pesos, posting a 5.49% increase compared to the same period last year. The BIR said the growth was achieved alongside continuing reforms that will continue to support taxpayers through better services.
American content creator Mr. Beast has made history as a YouTuber. This after he hit a record-breaking 500 million subscribers in YouTube, becoming the first individual in the platform to achieve such feat. Mr. Beast was earlier named as the most subscribed channel in 2025.
The New York Knicks were welcomed by an enormous homecoming celebration after winning their first NBA championship title in 53 years. New York City fans have long waited for this moment since 1973. In fact, the city will host a special kind of celebration for the team. NYC Mayor even announced a championship parade for the Knicks on June 18 that will travel along the Canyon of Heroes. Many super fans around the world celebrated the Knicks' victory, including Golden State Warriors star Stephen Curry, who congratulated Knicks head coach Mike Brown. Curry and Brown were previously paired up on the Warriors between the 2016 to 2017 and 2021 to 2022 seasons. Meanwhile, Knicks player Jordan Clarkson is also making history, becoming the first Filipino-American player to win an NBA championship title. Clarkson was last suited up for Gilas Pilipinas at the 2023 FIBA World Cup. And back here at home, the TNT Tropang 5G slammed back Barangay Ginebra in Game 6, forcing a do-or-die Game 7 match in the PBA Finals. Despite early setbacks in the match, TNT took over the spotlight with a scoreboard of 98-90. TNT player Chris McCullough delivered a monster performance, securing a career-high 53 points. Both teams were tied at an overall score of 3-3, as the final game will happen on June 17 at 7:30 p.m. at the SM Mall of Asia Arena.
In news abroad, a breakthrough has been settled by the United States and Iran, reaching its first official deal since the Middle East war broke out in February. Both sides have agreed to end military hostilities on all fronts, including in Lebanon, and the full resumption of trade along the Strait of Hormuz. The agreement, set to be signed in Switzerland this Friday, will extend the 60-day ceasefire to continue negotiations for a final agreement. Meanwhile, the Group 7 countries, or the G7, met tonight discussing key geopolitical issues. Its members, the U.S., Canada, France, Germany, Italy, and Japan, reportedly highlighted the Russia-Ukraine war and demands on Iran's nuclear program. The White House hosted a historic UFC championship for U.S. President Donald Trump's birthday. Even President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. greeted the U.S. president. This and other developments across the globe from Holy Bakay's report.
The White House turned into a fighting ring for the UFC Freedom 250 to celebrate U.S. President Donald Trump's birthday, who turned 80 on June 14. The event gathered around 4,000 spectators, including Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg. This is also part of the country's commemoration of the Declaration of Independence. Meanwhile, Philippine President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. also extended his birthday greetings to Trump, wishing him good health, happiness, and success. He also hoped for stronger U.S.-Philippine relations in the future. In Brazil, 2 helicopters collided mid-air, crashing into the city of Rio de Janeiro. All 6 passengers on board were killed, including American singer Oliver Tree. He recently performed in Buenos Aires and was due to perform across 30 countries. Investigations to determine the cause of the crash are underway. Still in Brazil, a horrifying bungee jumping accident killed a 21-year-old woman after workers forgot to harness her with a safety rope. The woman falls 130 meters at the skeleton bridge known for rope jumping activities. 3 men involved have been arrested for homicide. Holy Bakay, IBC News.
President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. extended his condolences to Thailand over the passing of its Thai princess. On his personal page, the president expressed sympathies to the royal family and the people of Thailand, highlighting the princess's legacy. He further said the Philippines stands in solidarity with Thailand during this time of mourning. And before we wrap up tonight's newscast, here are the results of the 9 p.m. draws from the PCSO. For the Mega Lotto 645, the winning numbers are 44, 14, 10, 21, 35, and 18 with a jackpot price of 60,460,246 pesos and 55 centavos. For the Grand Lotto 655, the winning combination is 8, 44, 43, 24, 4, and 11 with a jackpot price of 45 million pesos. For the 4D Lotto, the winning combination in exact order is 5, 8, 0, and 8. For the 3D Lotto, the winning numbers are 5, 9, and 9. And finally, for the 2D Lotto draw, the winning numbers are 26 and 24. There is no winner for the Mega Lotto 645 and the Grand Lotto 655. Tomorrow, motorists can expect relief as another round of fuel price rollbacks will happen. According to the Department of Energy, diesel will drop at least 5 pesos and 71 centavos per liter, while kerosene will decrease with at least 2 pesos and 50 centavos per liter. However, gasoline will slightly rise up to over 1 peso per liter. And those were the latest from the IBC Newsroom this evening.
We'll continue to monitor the stories that matter and give you updates as they develop. I'm Angela C.
And I'm William Thio. This is 13 News. Thank you for watching. Good night, everyone.